I'm Sheila Anderson. I own Image Power Play. What if I told you you had seconds to be the most memorable and visible person in the room or at your company? Would you bring your plan B to that moment? Or would you do everything possible to crush it and win? Win, right? Well, let me give you the real deal. In today's hyper-connected 24/7 world, people make a decision about who you are as a person and the company you represent and your level of trustworthiness within seconds of meeting you. Instead of winging it, wouldn't it be better to have a strategy? Well, personal branding can help you with that strategy. It can give you that edge to elevate your visibility in that space you want to own. As sales and marketing professionals, we are often tasked with what's our ROI. I'm not talking about your return on investment. I'm talking about what's your return on image. If you haven't thought about how you come across within the first several seconds of meeting someone, don't worry, they've already done it for you. So creating a personal brand can help you stand out in a noisy space. It can help you develop a strategy to bring forward what your values are to other people. And when people are tasked with deciding between who they want to choose for a project or who they want to represent them, they're going to pick somebody that's memorable to them. So how do you become memorable? The three biggest mistakes that I see people making in personal branding is number one, they're not being intentional. They're leaving their personal brand up to the interpretation of other people. You have to be intentional with who you are and how you are portraying that to other people. Number two, they're not being consistent across any of their platforms. They're not being consistent on their social media accounts. They're not being consistent in how they're interacting with people. Inconsistency breeds distrust. And number three, they're not being themselves. They're trying to be something they're not. And you can do that for a little while, but it's really hard to not be yourself. And I always encourage people, you need to be yourself, because if you're not, that creates confusion internally, which only comes out externally. And in the end, personal branding, it's not all about you. I wish it were. I mean, we all have an ego. So personal branding is about the value you bring to others. There's something in marketing called the thud factor, which I love. And the thud factor means something has weight. It has substance. So I implore you today, do you have a thud factor when you show up? Because if not, we can get you there. It's time you go all in with your image. It's time you create a thud factor. It's time when you meet somebody for the first time, you have them at hello.